I'm not making hundreds of millions of dollars from my business. Why would I ever just save up money to then buy an apartment to then make an extra grand or $500 or something a month for a rental apartment? I can either invest the money into the S&P and get, let's say, 10%, or I can invest it into myself. Our revenue's up 55% year to date compared to last year. So clearly I'm outbeating the stock market 5.5 times. So whenever I invest $1 into myself, I can get $5.50 back, which is way better returns than over here in the S&P.
I'm Luke, and you're listening to the Luke Mind Power Podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Luke Mind Power Podcast. Guess where I am? I'm in freaking Dubai, and this is the start of the best of the rest of my life. And I'm with someone freaking powerful. His name is Rasmus. He's from Denmark, and he is an entrepreneur. He's been living in Dubai for, since September last year. And I reached out to him because I saw one of his videos on YouTube. And I was like, bro, I'm coming, man. Help me out, because his video was about, living in Dubai and what it's like. So I want to welcome Rasmus to the Luke Mind Power Podcast, bro. It's a blessing to have you with us, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm looking forward to the conversation and, getting to know, first of all, like, what brought you here? Why Dubai? Why'd you leave all your family?
So why I left my family, getting deep into it. So basically since end of 2019, just before like COVID hit, I spent like 5 months in Spain. And then since that time, I've basically been spending like half the year in Spain and half the year in Denmark. And then I was in Spain last year for 6 months. And then I had one of my friends hit me up like back home in Denmark. He was like, hey, bro, I'm moving to Dubai. I was like, why? I was like, well, taxes, weather, environment. There's a bunch of people who are, successful entrepreneurs, and generally just the environment is better, which I couldn't understand from him because we talk about those things. I feel like Denmark is not a really good place for entrepreneurs. It's like the highest tax country in the world, and generally just not very welcoming towards people who want to achieve bigger things. So talk to him about it and chatted about it for like a couple of months. And I was like, just before I left Spain, I was like pretty set on it. And I was like, hey, let me just give Dubai a crack. Because I've been spending a lot of time in Spain. So I already knew what it was like, spending time outside of the country away from my family. So that wasn't a big deal to me. It was more, it's 7 hours instead of like a 3-hour flight within Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was like what brought me to Dubai really. Is like, okay, I can not pay any taxes on my work, which is great. I can invest more, I can save more, I can, have a better quality of life, better people, better environment, which is like really people and environment and culture is the biggest things for me. Because if I can be in a place with a lot of highly successful people, it also pushes me to achieve more naturally. If you're just around a team of 8 players, obviously you're also going to up your game, right? So yeah, that's
how have you learned that on your journey? Because obviously, you have to be at a certain level of success to be able to actually go, yeah, I'm going to make this change, right? Because I want to change my environment, and, you have to basically start fresh, but in a different space. And you have to transfer everything from Denmark to here, which is, I guess it's not that much, but it's, transferring your money, and you have to be in a certain position to go, well, Dubai's not that cheap, especially if you want to live a good lifestyle, right? So you would have had to set yourself up already a little bit first. And how long did that take you before you, how long did it take you to set yourself up into that position? Because for me, it took me 2 years, to be able to, for me, I wouldn't have been able to make this decision 2 years ago. But just as that happened, I hustled for 2 years, and now I'm just like, yeah, well, I can take action and I can take a risk.
Yeah. Okay. So how long it took me to like get set up in terms of business and like money and just getting to a place where
like you're more like, so I guess what people are trying in their life is to have that freedom.
Yeah.
To be able to go, well, fuck, I don't need to live here. Why am I staying here for? Why can't I go and explore something else?
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a long story, but the short version of it, and we can get into like deeper later. But I've been doing, so I'm 25. I've been doing.
Did you hear that, everyone? He's 25. Like, that's amazing. It's freaking inspiring. I'm 38 and I can sit here and go, wow, when I was 25, I was earning $24,000 as a trainee in a government job, $24,000 a year. And we won't go into how much Rasmus is making, but that'll just make me look bad.
But yeah, so in Denmark, it would basically be the equivalent of high school. We end that when you're like 19. So I was 19 coming out of high school, and I had a job for 3 months. And then I was like, fuck this, I'm sick of it. So I had like a bet with my dad, and so he gave me like a course in online marketing, actually, like a 6-week in-house. Like you would show up to an address and they will like teach you shit, like Facebook ads and Instagram ads and Google ads and like all these different things. And after that course, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try and give this a go.
How long ago was this?
That's end of 2017.
So six
Q3,
years ago.
Q3 2017.
6 years ago.
Yeah, something like, yeah, coming up to 6 years now. Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, I've been doing this for like 6 years basically. Started my own e-commerce brand first, then got sick of that, like the whole packaging order and talking to customers and stuff like that. And then transitioned in 2018 into an agency, like freelancing, right? And just been like chipping away of that, and then lost the business once, lost the business twice, and then I launched Minix, which is the business I'm still running. Launched that in Jan 2021. So two and a half years ago. So Minix is basically what has gotten me to this point. Yeah, started from scratch again in 2021, but been doing my own thing since 2017.
Amazing. So you just said twice, lost the business twice, and the one thing that I've heard so much in business is people failing and people investing into companies or whatever, going through the journey of business and then losing everything.
Yeah.
Right. And like for me, it's crazy because before I started coaching, I failed in one investment opportunity, lost over $100,000, and then started again. And I was like, wow, I needed to lose that in order for me to build what I have now. And now as I'm building and I'm growing, I'm like, is it going to happen to me again?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to like fail again? Do I need to learn the lesson again? And it may not just be in business, it's in life. You know, it's in relationships, it's in your friendships or whatever that you need to learn, or whatever's happening in your life, that if you don't learn it the first time, it'll happen again. And I know some things may be unavoidable, right? Because that's life. But where I'm at right now is like, don't take it for granted, because it's very easy, I feel like, to think, it's all good.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to worry. Like we were talking about earlier, we were just like, there's no worries. And you're like, no worries, that's dangerous.
That's super dangerous.
You know, because if you think that you've got no worries, then you're just in your comfort zone. You become complacent. You become like, it's all good. How did that happen for you? How did you go through 2 failures? And how much, like, if you don't mind, how much did you lose? Like how did the losses come? Like what mistakes? What were the mistakes that you made?
So I didn't specifically lose any like set amount, like you invested in something and then like you invest into a stock or something and it just crashes. Like it wasn't like that. So I started my agency, right? 2018. Did some freelancing things. But then I got a business partner because I hated sales. I'm like, fuck sales. I just want to do like the ads part of it. I just want to do ads for our clients and that's it. And then I can get someone to do the sales. So we worked together for like 9 months, maybe something like that. And then he wanted to do one thing and I wanted to stick with the agency. He wanted to like do some side business. And I was like, nah, bro, that's not going to work. Like we weren't that successful. Like we were doing, I don't know, 14K, 13K a month, maybe between 10 and between 10 and 15, right? But we had just like signed on a lease for an office. We had an employee. It was like very traditional. Like, we had an actual like physical office already. And then we decided like maybe a week before we had to move into this office that we weren't going to work together anymore. And the issue in the business was basically that we were signing clients that we shouldn't have, so we weren't able to deliver what we promised them. Basically, we weren't able to deliver good results. And so clients naturally just left. And then when we split apart, I was like, there was no way to do sales, no leads incoming. And so I remember we had like $300 on the bank account, like after I had paid like the salary and like for the office. And so I just didn't take any salary for months and just barely like scrape by, just like pay for the office, pay for the employees and stuff. So that was the mistake, basically, just going into a partnership, but I didn't learn that lesson. I thought, okay, we just kind of grew apart. But then I got a second business partner and the same thing happened. And then I started to realize, okay, maybe I'm just not set out to work in a like 50-50.
With someone, yeah.
Yeah, because it was 50-50. And when you're in the marketing agency, like a marketing business, it does, like the dynamic just doesn't work usually, because you have one guy doing sales for 8 hours, right? And you can close a client, but if he closes 10, that's still just an 8-hour workday. But the guy doing the marketing still has to deliver for an increasing amount of new clients, right? So that dynamic just didn't work. And I can be very like stubborn with decisions. Like if I want to do something, like I want it done my way.
Yep.
And so after the second partnership, where we had to just close down the business because there was nothing really in it, I kind of realized, okay, maybe I'm just not cut out for like a 50-50 partnership. And then I started Minix, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it by myself, just have employees, but run it myself completely. And
here you are.
And that seems to turn out pretty well.
Yeah. See, sometimes you just, and so you had to learn the lesson twice.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it wasn't even the money part, because you kind of get
it hurts.
It hurts your ego, and it's more the time you spend on it
to create that wealth.
Yeah.
Right?
Even though we weren't doing a lot of money, it was still like, I could take out a salary and, pay for an apartment, like pay for food and stuff, like, right, very basic things. But then suddenly you have nothing. Like, did I just spend 4 years, almost 3 years? Yeah, 3 years doing nothing. Because now there's no employees, there's no clients, like there's no revenue coming in. How am I going to pay for stuff? Right? So it's like, that was the biggest thing, was like the ego and time part, that I had spent 3 years doing something and then just completely lost it.
Yeah. And that's how I felt too. Like I always say, like, I got scammed, right? But then I also look at it and go, well, hang on a second. It's not necessarily that you got scammed. You actually went through a really powerful experience that has helped you to grow.
100%.
And it's like, we always look at the failures as I made a mistake, because, saying I got scammed or saying I had to go through this experience, it was a lesson. Now I look back at it and I'm like, thank you for coming into my life and taking me through that experience.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that's most challenging for people when they're going through shit in their life. You can never see it in the moment. Like you can never appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're going through a divorce, you're going through a breakup in a relationship, you're going through a problem with a business, you're going through a challenge, and you cannot understand why it is happening and why you have to go through it. But then you always look back in hindsight and you're like, oh my gosh, I needed that.
It makes perfect sense when you look back, right?
It does. I look back and I'm like, I needed to go through that 6 months of trying to build a business, giving this person all my money, and then getting to a point where I had minus $5,000.
Yeah.
And I got no money left and there's no results. And I've just invested 6 months of my life trying to create content and coaching programs and all this stuff, only to get to the point where one of my friends goes, bro, leave this, disconnect yourself, stop it, because it's not working. But I needed that. And like I was telling you, then what happened? I started doing comedy. I started my TikTok.
Dance videos.
Like I was doing whatever it took though. You know what I mean? And that's the journey that a lot of people don't appreciate, is like the failures is really what makes you. And it's learning from the failures and continuing to like grow and grow and grow and grow no matter what happens.
Yeah. And learning, like the learning part of it that's one thing I've been focused on a lot this year, is not learning, but like not cast judgment on certain decisions, but just trying to look at it objectively. Because with you, like, you spent 6 months doing something and then it didn't work out. For me, I spent 3 years doing something and just didn't work out. I was back at square one, right? But you still build up a certain skill set. And so you actually don't start from nothing. It's the same thing when people talk about like, okay, or if we take like a hypothetical scenario, Elon Musk loses everything tomorrow, right? in a week from now, in a month from now, in 6 months from now, he's going to have $1 billion again. Like, he's probably going to be top 30.
I was thinking about when you were talking the first time. I was like, yeah, bro, but you failed, or you decided that these partnerships are not good for you. But because of the experience, because of the knowledge that you gained because of that, you actually have something valuable that no one can take away from you. Yeah. So no matter if you, that's the same thing with me. When my dad said to me, "Oh, what are you going to do about the money? You know, what about the money? What about all the money?" And I was like, "Dad, I am the money, right?
You're the machine."
Yeah, I'm the money. I'm the one that is going to attract all that money again. You know, so I'm not worried about it. And that's the thing I think people probably don't get, is like what you're going through is actually you becoming that person. Because yeah, like you said, Elon Musk could lose everything, and 6 months later he'll have it all again because he knows how to manifest it, how to build it, how to create it.
Yeah, he knows how to see demand, how to build a team, how to hire, like what things to do. He can do engineering, like he can build a product himself. He has the work ethic. Like he still sleeps on the couch at SpaceX or Tesla, right? So he knows, he's proven to himself over a long enough time horizon that he can do certain things that could get him to the level he's at now. So if he lost everything, maybe he can't get to the level he's at now because there's also luck involved, right? But he could get pretty far.
Yeah, but you're the one that creates your luck, don't you think?
A certain
putting
extent.
Your energy towards something that you're passionate about, you don't then just attract these opportunities. Like I could say, "Oh, I'm so lucky that I came across Rasmus's video on YouTube." But had I not followed the process of who I've become and all the action that I've taken to get to, Easter in 2023, I wouldn't have even thought, okay, let me look at some videos about Dubai. And then I see your video.
Yeah.
Is that luck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It's coincidence. Yeah. It's funny how the world works. I think luck is probably the timing part of it. But you can I do definitely believe that you can increase the surface area of what you can become lucky in by just inputting more things into the machine. So like if you invest in a bunch of courses, right? Or you have, a ton of team members, or you just produce a bunch of content, right? Like the more things you can do, the more things you can put into the machine or put out into the world, or whatever you want to call it, the more you can increase the surface area of you being lucky. So the more things you can become lucky in. And then the timing aspect of it, you can't predict. But if you have a massive net of things you just put out there, then it's bound to happen that at some point you're going to get lucky.
Yep. Yeah, I'm hearing you. And you mentioned the word machine a few times now, and I'm asserting that you're referring to yourself as a machine.
Yeah. I'm a vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more that you put into yourself, the more that you can, like you said, the surface area.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I do definitely think like I'm a machine. It sounds a little bit funny to say, right?
It's Terminator, man.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
But yeah, at a certain extent, like your brain is just from you being born, like you're basically just an empty vessel, right? And then you just get fed all this information, and then you become old enough to a point where you can now decide what information do I want to put into my brain. And that will change your worldview, will change your skill sets, like, and what you can produce. And so you can create your own life.
Yeah. If you could give some people some advice right now that are afraid to take a risk, or afraid to step into something new, or afraid to move to a new country, or afraid to start a new business, or something that they've never done before, what kind of advice or inspiration could you give to them for them to actually take that action? Because
that really depends on the situation, I would say. I think you have to assess your risk tolerance, because some people will literally just pack up and move. Like they'll have $100 and they're like, I'll just figure it out. I'm not like that. I had like good savings. If I lost everything today, I would still be able to pay for my own lifestyle for the next like 2 or 3 years and still live comfortably like I am now. So I'm definitely not that risk averse. And so what I tell a lot of people, especially when it comes to Dubai, because I've had quite a few people reach out to me, and been on a couple calls with people, and I just tell them, look, just have enough in the bank so you can pay for your apartment for the first year in Dubai and get yourself set up, and then have enough money to fund your lifestyle for the next 2 years, because then you have nothing to lose. Like, have a really big safety net, really, essentially. Like, if I lost everything and I had to fire my employees, I would be good. Or if I lost everything and I would still like to keep my employees because they're fantastic people, I could still pay for everything for next year. Like, I have no risk, really. Like, the only reason I would move away from Dubai was if I didn't like it. And so what? Then I lost some money, but that's fine because everything is still like, there's still no risk anywhere in terms of paying for stuff. So I like to just be secure.
But the pressure of not feeling secure also is very healthy. Would you agree?
Yes.
Like putting yourself in a situation where maybe you don't have that safety net. And I'll tell you, the reason why I'm saying this is because I've had this feeling and been in this position over the last couple of years many times, where I don't have the safety net. You know, I've got a team to look after. I've got, people to pay every single week, responsibilities, commitments, expenses, right? But I'm not in that safety net where, it's all good. Like I'm in that space of like, it's all good. I'm no worries. And what that has done for me, and this is going to anyone who is afraid to take the risk because maybe they're not, like you said, in that safety net, right? Is that when you take the risk, you are put under pressure. You don't have a choice but to fight for survival. It's the survival instinct of like, okay. And I've had this many times in my business and my coaching as well. It's like, okay, why is this not working? And I'm talking to my business coach and then I talk to my team and I get frustrated and I'm like, why? Why does this keep happening? Right? And I always say, the lesson will keep showing up until you learn it. Well, it's happening because there's something you need to learn from it. So learn it so it doesn't happen again. Right? And then it puts you under this pressure of like figuring shit out. Getting lost yesterday. I was walking from the mall. I got lost. Luckily, my GPS was working. But I'm just saying, like, putting yourself in these kind of situations where you're out of your comfort zone completely and you don't have a choice but to show up and to get shit done, make shit happen. And I say that's a good way of taking action.
Yeah.
Not only just waiting for for example, when I started my coaching business, took me 7 months for me to move out of my parents' house before I felt like I had that safety net of being able to afford a house to rent. So I had a goal and a vision that, okay, and I didn't move to where I said I was going to move. I said I'm going to move into an apartment looking over the Harbour Bridge in Sydney. And that was my goal. And I remember when I got on the call with my business coach, and he's like, what's your dream? Like, what's your goal? What do you want to do? And I said, I want to live in an apartment looking over the harbour, running my coaching business, right? That was the goal. And 7 months later, I moved in with my best friend into a brand new house because I took action and I built the business. So things don't happen straight away.
No, exactly. Talking about risk and you talking about doing stuff for a long time, right? Would you consider yourself more lazy back then when you just started out in terms of taking action?
I had nothing when I started. I was under pressure. I had to do something. I had to work with someone. I needed help, and it's like, whether it's business, whether it's personal development, and growing, it's like you get to a point, if you're at a point where you're like, your back's against the wall.
Yeah.
You've tried everything. You're in the dark. You need help. I think that's one of the hardest things for many people is to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because they want to have it all figured out themselves. And it's like, man, we live in this technological age, especially like with social media, podcasting, information, YouTube. That if you think that you know it all, you don't know shit.
That's a dangerous place to be. Yeah, but I just think that it having your back against the wall, I think it's you can create that wall yourself in your mind, depending on what you just deem to be,
like to put yourself under more pressure.
Yeah, because if you have nothing right now, right, there's no point of you moving to a different country because you should be,
of course, like you gotta have something.
Exactly, but like I think there's other risks you can take, or you can create that. At least that's something I'm really good at. It's just creating pressure in my mind. Something that maybe is completely irrelevant in like the objective world. But that's how I can like create pressure and make myself hungry to actually get to the next level. And sometimes I'll like set goals, or like, okay, if I can reach this, then I'll buy this, or I'll treat myself to something, or then I can hire a new employee or something, right? I think you can take better bets by maybe not, especially if you're starting out, like not taking that much money risk, but you have to somehow in your mind be able to create some sort of pressure situation. Because if you don't have anything, or you don't have a lot, then you should be panicking to some extent. Like you just haven't made it yet. So yeah.
So like, for example, there's this like narrative or story, or like, let's say the American dream, or even the Australian dream, whatever it is, like, but the dream is like get married, have kids, buy a house,
and die.
And for some people that works, for some people it's great, you know. What do you think about that, and how important, because I know that some people probably have just been programmed like that, just because of media, because of what society expects.
No, 100%. That's how it was 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, when we didn't have the internet. It just doesn't work like that anymore. Because you can't just have a job, save up money, and then buy a house nowadays. You could that 40 years ago, because wages were the same, but houses were like a tenth of what they are today, right? Just save up for 6 months, a year, 2 years, boom, you buy a house. It's fine. Now, bog-ass standard job, like, you can save up for 60 years and maybe afford a house, but then like you're dead already.
And already like a few years ago, I was like, I don't give a shit about fucking retirement.
Yeah.
I don't care about fucking the money that I'm going to get in fucking 25 years time.
When I'm 87.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit about that. I fucking care about what I'm creating right now.
Yeah.
Because I believe that I don't need to worry about that. I will make enough to be able to do what I love for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Not to be able to get to a point at fucking 65 or 70 and go, oh, okay, now I'm going to stop.
Yeah, but at that point, it's going to be like 85.
Here's my 300,000 that I've been saving for the last fucking 30 years. Yeah. Give me that money now so I can freaking live a specific life.
Go to Starbucks, right?
Fuck that.
No, I don't think the model works anymore. And I think, at least for me as well, if you were to ask me a year ago, I would have said like, hey, I want to save up money and like buy,
because the government has it.
Yeah,
and superannuation,
and buy an apartment, and also it like I got that from my dad is an accountant, so he's also like very less risk and save up and then buy an apartment like for rental and stuff like that, passive income, right? But then like a month before I moved to Dubai, I saw a video from Alex Hormozi where he talked about like just investing in yourself to increase your ability to make money. Which is basically what do you know Alex Hormozi? Yeah. Which is basically what he did to be able to make hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And so I thought about that and I was like, okay, so if I'm not making hundreds of millions of dollars from my business, why would I ever just save up money to then buy an apartment to then make, an extra $1,000 or $500 or something a month for a rental apartment? Like, it makes no sense whatsoever, because I can either invest the money into the S&P and get, let's say, 10%, or I can invest it into myself. And I actually just shot a YouTube video on that, so I know the stats. Our revenue's up 55% year to date compared to last year. So clearly, I'm outbeating the stock market 5.5 times. So whenever I invest $1 into myself, I can get $5.5 back, which is way better returns than over here in the S&P.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I've been thinking about as well. Is like, what's the better option? Is it like investing in property, or is it investing in your company? And if you're getting you're making massive results and getting huge results and investing more into how you can get better results in your revenue in your company, why the fuck would you go and invest in property?
Yeah.
When you're tripling or quadrupling or 5 or 10xing your success in your business, and then all that's going to happen there is then you start another business.
Yeah, I only think you would do that if you don't believe in your ability to make money anymore.
Of course. And that's okay. This is interesting because many people have a fear of money, or they don't have a relationship with money, right? It's like,
oh yeah,
money's bad, money's the root of all evil, all that kind of shit, right? So how do you help people understand that money is, because some people will be like, money's bad. They don't, it's like, I think that's like the poverty mindset.
I think so as well. And I'm not here to discuss with those people because they clearly just operate on a lower level than I do. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're going to get to anywhere significant in life. If you disregard money, you're a fool. Like, because money adds a little bit to your life, but it takes away a whole lot of stress. That's what money does. It takes away stress and fear and worry from your life. So you can focus on just being happy. So you don't have to worry about, oh, rent is coming up, where I'm going to get the money. Oh, can I afford to fly to take this vacation? If you have a lot of money, like if you make, let's say you make a really aggressive amount of money, like just jump on a private jet, right? Go to a 5-star hotel and you chill. Mm-hmm. It's a better way. It's a less stressful way of living. Mm-hmm. And money is really just a tool. It's a tool, and especially in business. And I think that's why I like business so much, is because money is just a measuring stick for how much value you're providing. If you make a lot of money, you also provide a lot of money. And so there's this one clip with it's quite funny. It's Jeff Bezos. He's being interviewed. I think Amazon hit like $1 trillion or something. Large amount in like market cap. And so the interviewer asks him like, hey, Amazon is worth, let's say, $800 billion. Do you ever feel bad for all the money you've made? You're worth like 100-something billion. And he just sits down, like looks the reporter in the eyes and says, look, Amazon is worth 800 billion. I own 16% of Amazon, which means that I've created 600 and something million in value, a billion in value to other people. So no, I actually feel quite fine having all my wealth. And like that's what money is. It's just a measuring stick in business for how much value you're providing, and in life it just takes away all your stress. And so I think as I said, I think you're a fool if you don't value money to some extent, because you should be having money. Otherwise you're not living your life to the fullest.
It's powerful stuff what you're sharing, man, and you're only 25. Now, I'll just if you're listening to these guys, let me tell you, you're listening to Dubai's next trillionaire. And listen, the one thing is the power of self-belief, though. Like it sounds to me like you really believe in yourself. You have self-confidence, but we all came from somewhere. So I'm curious, and I'm sure everybody else is curious. Like, yeah, Rasmus is talking about success, and he made this decision to move to Dubai and left everything, and he's doing his thing. He's focused, right? What is it deep within yourself that you feel is the reason why you are striving for such high life success and experiences? And like, what is there something that you went through that hurt you?
Yes. Yeah. I think every entrepreneur has this like story, like some trauma or something in their life just kind of sticks out, right? But no, so quick background. Both my parents, I come from like a good family. Like both my parents own their own businesses. And so I kind of grew up in that. My mom used to have a marketing agency, actually like traditional, not media, but like traditional print, like TV ads and stuff like that. Marketing agency. And we lived in this big house because we're 5 kids.
Wow.
So
Are you the oldest?
I'm middle, actually. I have one of each. Older brother, older sister, younger brother, older brother. But so she used to run her agency or marketing agency in the basement. So whenever we would get home from school, we would go in through the basement, see her working, say hello to her employees, right? And then she would take the day off from that and then work when we went to bed, and then work till like late at night. So we always grew up in that environment. So I think it's been instilled in me from a young age that was a possibility. Now going into high school, I actually thought I was going to be like a physio. But then halfway through, I was like, nah, I want to do I want to do my own thing. My family, or from my mom's side of it, really wanted me to have this like have traditional education, right? High school, college, uni, or whatever you want to call it, and then go have a job, right? And I started to disagree more and more with that, to the point where we were just arguing every single day, me and my mom. And then when I was 18, I cut her off. I was like, look, you're clearly not supporting what I want to do. We're arguing every single day, and I've been doing that for like months on end now. So I'm just going to move with that because they're divorced. And so I think that, especially in the beginning, not so much anymore. But when I got out of high school, like, I think that definitely was like a driver behind what I did. Just like anger for her not believing in me and saying, look, you shouldn't do this. Like, it's a dumb decision. It's dangerous. Like, you're never going to make it. Even though I could clearly see, like, she was doing well with her own business. So I was like, who are you to tell me? Like, both you and dad run your own business, right? So who are you to tell me that I can't, like, just make something of myself? Now, not so much anymore. Now, I'll say the biggest driver in my life now is I have this like own little competition with myself that I want to try and beat my dad in terms of net worth. And I want to show him that I can do great things. And so that's definitely like the main driver for me now. But in the beginning, there was like, anger, I would say. It's just trying to prove to my mom, which I still don't speak to, but just trying to show myself and like prove to her, right? Even though I don't speak with her, but just show her like, hey, I can make this work. Like, you were not right.
Yeah. Do you feel within yourself that it hurts that you don't talk to her?
No, I don't think about her.
Right. But you wanted that support from her, right? When you were younger.
Back then, yeah.
And so even though she didn't support you and now you kind of moved on, right? Do you look at that and go, well, hang on a second. One of the drivers and the reason for my success is my mum.
That was definitely, because I think like I started having those dreams and aspirations when I was still seeing her. And so I think because I can be very stubborn, I think that was why probably, like, if we talk like just luck again, or like the universe, whatever, I think that can probably be one of the reasons why I actually went down the route I did. Now, obviously, I also lived with my dad full time then, and he was also running his own business. So, like, I was also constantly exposed to him doing, business, right, and running his own company. But yeah, no, I would ascribe a portion of where I'm at to my mom saying you shouldn't do this.
But do you think that you not talking to her is your decision, right?
Yeah.
It's not her decision; it's your decision.
Yeah,
You're like, I can't surround myself.
I was the one saying no mas.
Okay,
no more.
Do you think that it's warranted though? Like the fact that like that's your mum, she raised you, you grew up with her,
yeah,
and because of her lack of support, you just decided that you know what, you don't want to support me. I don't want you in my life at all. Do you think it's warranted, like your decision to not talk to her just because you want to focus on your business?
No, it's not so much the business anymore. It wasn't even at the beginning, because like I still had a year and a half left of high school when I stopped seeing her. But the way I think about it,
or was there something else that's deeper? That's like that she hurt you with another part of your life that has also
yeah. There's like some other stuff as well, right? But I think the main reason why. I was definitely angry at her in the beginning, right? Don't get me wrong. Of course I was. Otherwise I wouldn't have cut her off, basically. Now it's just, I'm really happy with my life. And so I don't see it's basically just a risk assessment. I'm like, I don't want to take the risk of letting something that was negative in my life into my life again. Even though it might not be negative. And I'm sure she's learned from her mistake and whatever. I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago, but I'm just not willing to take that risk in my life.
So basically what you're saying, and I think this is relatable to a lot of people with like their lives, relationships, business, whatever it is. You're basically showing, and I know myself that as you get older, life humbles you, things change, this and that. But right now, where you're at, there's a reason why you're at where you're at in terms of your level of success and your ability to be able to do what you're doing. And basically, what you're showing to anyone who's listening is that do whatever the fuck it takes. And if that means you have to block family, friends, disappear, stop talking to people, right? Because the truth is no one really understands how you feel. I can be sitting here talking to you and thinking to myself, there's something deeper. How can you just not talk to your mum just because she disagrees with you?
Oh, yeah.
Right? But at the same time, I don't know how you feel. I haven't felt what you felt. And this is the one thing that most people will judge you on because they don't understand you. They haven't lived your life. They haven't felt what you felt. And that's why most people that judge, they don't understand. But those who understand, they don't judge, like myself. I'm listening and I'm understanding you because I'm sitting in your position and I'm thinking about how would I feel if I was Rasmus, right? Because he's making these decisions for himself because he knows what he needs to do and he knows what he needs to let go of in order for him to grow and for him to achieve the success that he's striving for. So this is a very big, even though there's people listening going, I would never do that, right? But in order for you to achieve, you have to sacrifice. There are things that you have to let go of.
You have to put yourself first. I think there's points in your life where you should be selfish, and there's points in your life where you should be selfless. And I definitely believe in your earlier years, and when you're trying to achieve something great, or get to another level, you should be selfish, 100% all the way through. Just prioritize yourself, and whatever toxic or negative you have in your life, cut it out. And literally just focus on how can I maximize inner peace and fulfillment. And then when you get to that next level, you can then reassess things and say, okay, maybe I want to be more selfless now and want to take care of other people. Maybe I want to start a family, get into a relationship or something like that, right? But you need to know when you're in a season of growing and when you're not. Because you shouldn't be in a season of growing, building intensely your entire life, because then you're also going to be missing out on beautiful parts of life, I believe.
So you mentioned to me earlier that did you say you're single for 7 years?
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
since
much,
18 to where you are now, you haven't had a relationship.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And one of the things that I went through in my 20s was a lot of people, I've never had a relationship, and this is the truth, never had a relationship where I knew that this was the person that I wanted to be with. I always just settled because it was available. Well, I'd rather have something.
You had no options.
I'd rather have something than nothing, right? Then there's also the influence of people around you. And a lot of people that I was friends with in their relationships, they were happy with their relationships, their partners. So there was also chasing that I want to be like other people. I want to fit in. How do I fit in? Have a relationship.
Yeah.
That's my girlfriend, right? So how can you explain to people right now how you feel enough not being in a relationship, being 25? Because I remember being 25 and it's like you wanted to be in a relationship. You wanted to have a girlfriend. You wanted to be with the rest of the people that had relationships and stuff.
Honestly, if I was a 9-to-5 corporate guy, I would be in a relationship for sure. Because then you don't really have any. Because then you don't take pride in what you're actually doing for 8 hours, 9 hours of the day. Maybe even more if you include commuting and stuff like that to the office. But now, I have so much I want to do and so much I want to achieve. I have my next year and a half, 2 years planned out already in terms of business. So I know where I'm gonna go, and so that's what that's fulfilling in itself. I know, okay, I need to hire new team members at this point. This is what we need to be doing. And this is A to C, the next steps forward to achieve what I want to achieve in the next 2 years or so. And so I can't be I don't have emotional capacity or time and attention to worry about not being in a relationship. I have 3 full-time employees and 3 VAs and a video editor. Like, I need to take care of. I need to pay every single month, right? Clients that needs work done. Like, why would I be worried about being in a relationship? If I get into a relationship, great, but like, why stress? Why stress about it? Because I have enough shit on my plate. Like, there's enough to do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what it's about. You know, if someone is right, you know it, it feels right, it flows, and that person will add value to your life in that way that won't stress you out.
Yeah.
You know, it's an ad. Like, I like to say that, you know, I'm whole and complete all on my own. And a lot of people, like, for example, you know, when you're getting married, right, they say, you complete me, right? In basically saying that you're not full. You're not complete as a person. You need another person to come into your life to make you full, make you complete, right? So it's in the understanding of, like, I'm complete as I am. And if somebody else comes into my life, they are an added bonus. They add more value to my life. Yeah. So it's no doubt that if you met the right person, that person will actually amplify your success.
Yeah, I think there can be a really good ROI on on getting into a relationship. Yeah. You also see the big guys doing, like, the billionaires and stuff like that. They all talk highly about, like, their wives, because they say, look, I've never gotten to where I am. And it's the same with, like, having a team of employees. You can never achieve the next level of success without employees, because it's just higher leverage. And if you have a wife or a husband or whatever, they will support you and in ways that you can't do on your own, and then you can achieve the next level. But I don't think you should go out and actively seek for it if you're in a business, if you're in a season of growth, because then you're taking attention away from where you should be putting your attention. But if it happens, great.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, even like where I'm at, I'm not in a hurry.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not in a hurry for the relationship. It's just, I'm focused on my shit. And if something is meant to be, it will flow and it will just happen naturally. It's not something I need to go out. And I think that, maybe for women, it may be different when they get into their 30s or whatever. Yeah. If they're not in a relationship, they want to have babies and all that kind of stuff. So they might feel pressure, you know. But at the same time, you might feel pressure, but you got to focus on what you can control. And you can't force things. And I think some people try to force too much. And when you're forcing things, it's not natural, not flowing. You know?
No, it can definitely feel a bit.
It's like you're under pressure to, like, hurry up.
I think we all know those people, right? They're like, oh, I want to get a baby by 25 or 30 or whatever. So, like, now I need to go out and find a man and, like, just nail him down and get a baby or something. I know women like that. Yeah. That is just like they just have the whole, like, thing planned out, and so it's just forced. It's so weird. I do think it's different from men and women, just because of biology.
For sure. So tell me about your life here in Dubai now. Like, how has it changed? How has your level of thinking changed? Obviously, you know, I know myself, I've always said this, with whom you surround yourself with is whom you become. Yeah. You know, if you surround yourself with very successful people, you become successful as well. You don't have a choice. Energy is contagious. You feed off other people's knowledge, vibe, what they talk about. I'm feeding off you. I'm learning from you as well. So how has your life changed since you moved here? And what do you like about this place?
Oh, I love Dubai. First off, shit, it's so much better than being back home in Denmark. I guess it's not home anymore, Denmark. Yeah, I guess Dubai is. I'm really happy here. I really like. So the biggest difference and what I was right about was the culture and the people moving here. In Denmark, we don't have a very big, like, entrepreneurial scene, and there's a general consensus about, you don't really talk about money, you don't flex your success, you just keep to yourself, right? Which I don't like. I like in Dubai that I can look out into the marina or I can just go on the street, us walking from the coffee place to here, just G-Wagons, Lambos, Ferraris. Like, I find that very inspiring. And you just don't see that in Denmark. And all the people I know here are highly successful people. I'm probably one of the people doing like the least amount of revenue actually, and having the smallest team out of all the people I know here. So I'm the small fish, whereas the people I know back home, either they are, just normal employed people who don't really want to achieve it, like they don't live the same lifestyle, or it's people who are doing less than me in terms of revenue. So here I can be the small fish, and back home, the big fish, or what, I don't really see myself as a big fish, so that's weird to say. But yeah, like here there's just so many more high level people, that it just kind of forces you to grow up. I feel like you see life from a different perspective, because you walk outside and there are all these fancy things. So you're like, it's possible. Like, it's definitely possible to achieve all these things. Like, I can do that. So, because you're talking to other people who may be doing much better than you, but you talk to them and you're like, you're actually not that much smarter than I am. Like, I understand, like, I already know a lot of what you're saying. So it's possible. I can also be that. I can get to your point. You just, and you just don't get that in Denmark, for example. And so that's what I love about it. It forces you to level up, and it changes your perception of reality. From, in Denmark, it's like, oh, I can drive a Honda Civic, great. To here, it's like, I need to like have a G-Wagon. I need that, and I'm gonna work hard to get it, and I want that.
Why do you want to? Why do you want to have the nice cars and all that kind of stuff, or everything else that comes with success?
Yeah.
Why?
So I actually use right now I use a car actually as like a short-term goal. But I actually don't have anything against people can get a lot of hate online for, spending a lot of money on something. I actually quite like the idea of spending a lot of money on a car, for example, which one I'm going to do when I get back to Dubai from when summer's over. Because let's say you want to get to 50K a month in profit, right? Take home 50K. Then what I do is I set myself that goal, and then, okay, I'll buy a car for something, 50K. You put a number on it, right? And even though, it might be a very big purchase for you when that time comes, once you get there, the next month, you're still going to be doing 50K. And the next month after that. So it's basically just acts as motivation for you to achieve the next level. And let's say, you want to get to 100K per month, and then you want to buy something that's super expensive. You want to go out and, I don't know, buy something for $1 million, right? And maybe you have a little over $1 million on a bank account. But right now you're doing 30. Once you get to 100K per month, sure, you drain your bank account, but the month after that, you're still going to be making a lot more money. And so if the goal, and so if the motivation of you spending a lot of money on something once you reach a certain point is what you need to shorten that time frame, 100% go for it. I love that idea. So that's basically what I use flashy things for. It's like a goal to short down the time frame of me getting to a point, because life's still going to go on after, you buy a car or rent an apartment or buy a watch or something. But you're just going to be making a lot more money.
Does it have to do with any, and I'm hearing what you're saying, it makes sense. Does it make you feel a specific way by having something nice?
I'm actually not a big car person, honestly. Yeah. I just use it because right now, in terms of, it's just, I don't have a car right now. So that it was like an easy one. Like, oh, I can buy a car, and yeah, sure, let me get a nice one. I don't think there's a high incremental cost, like versus the one I'm driving now. Like it's like, I looked online, it's like super mid car. That versus, buying an expensive Mercedes, something like that. There's no real incremental.
But because you're in a nicer car, does it empower you?
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I like the nice things. It's a materialistic, it just materializes your success.
Yeah, because you know that you've put the energy towards your success, your business.
Yeah.
And now you're able to materialize. It's a way to put it. You've materialized your success.
Yeah. That's a
brought
milestone.
this into your life because of the hard work that you've done.
Exactly. So you can look at that and you can say, I did that. I got there. And I remember what goal I had. And I remember the hard work that led up to it. And then you can look at it and say, fuck yeah, I did that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's, again, for everyone it's different, you know what I mean? I mean, people can listen to this and go, materialistic possessions don't make you happy or whatever it is. But, you're living your life. And, one thing that I did, I only started wearing this watch recently, and I've had this for like a couple of years. And I used to have a Breitling, and I really liked watches, and I had jewelry and nice cars and all that stuff. And I had to let that go in order for me to maybe be more grateful and detach myself from anything outside of myself for me to feel like I was good enough. Like feeling whole and content without anything.
Yeah.
No girl, no family, like completely detached from the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a bit of an accessory. It's not an
looks good.
Just something, But I had to do that in order for me to appreciate life.
Yeah.
And for me to be able to be in control and not, and I spoke about this on one of my episodes recently about not being dependent on anything outside of yourself to make you happy. So, but it's different. It's the thing is you're achieving success in your business. So your affordability level is there for you to have something that you want, and you can do that, materialize it, right? But the purpose of it is not that I'm going to buy a Ferrari because I don't feel like I'm good enough.
Oh yeah, like an ego.
Right?
So then it becomes a dick measuring contest.
When I have a Ferrari, because like when I was younger, I used to be like, if I have a nice car, I'm going to get hot girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Right? Sure. That's how I thought. I did, And there's it's bullshit. It's not even like obviously it's attraction, right? People are going to say, oh my gosh, who's that, right? In a car. But it's just being aware of that you're not dependent. Because like how many successful people do you know that I've heard of becoming millionaires, billionaires, and they kill themselves? They've got everything they want, but they're still not happy.
Yeah.
So how are you going to maintain your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health for you to feel peace without the materialistic possessions?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how people get into that state of mind where it's like, oh, if it's not 5-star, like I can't even be myself, like, because they have such an issue with their perception of self that they're like, if it's not super high-end 5-star, I can't have it. Like I quite enjoy, I don't know, like maybe it's from me, I used to be a competitive swimmer, so maybe it's from me, for a long period of time, just when we were at meets, for example, like in between races, you just sleep on the floor to like recover. It's like I grew up with all that, like I quite enjoy just laying on the couch and like going to the gym, get my hands dirty and stuff. So I can do both basically. I think yes, physical health, I work out a whole ton. Spiritual health, last year actually when I was in Spain for 6 months, I did like a monk mode. So it was 6 months where I would meditate every single day. Have a screenshot of it. I did 190 days straight, 190 days straight of meditation every single day.
How many hours a day?
Just 10 minutes every day in the morning. I worked out 10 times a week.
Did you do that 10 times a week, not 5 days a week, 10 times a week?
Yeah.
7 days in a week. So what? Twice a day?
Yeah. So
5 days a week.
So I would Wednesday. Yeah, so 7 days a week, right? At least once every single day, and then 3. So Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, I would run before I went to the gym. I'd go for like a 5K run or something. And then yeah, I got in my best shape ever. Just to I just wanted like 6 months. It was me and my brother, and I kind of just wanted 6 months of me like suffering.
Why is suffering so important?
It just builds mental resilience. You show yourself you can do something. It's like because when we got there, it was like, especially with the meditation, because like that's very visual and it is slow progress. Like you just do 10 minutes a day and then it ticks up by 1. That's day 3. That's day 4, right? So it's like it felt like a very, very big mountain that had to be a big thing that had to be conquered. And then you get to the other side of it and you're like, I did that again. I did that, right? So it just builds resilience, and you build a track record for yourself in your mind of like, okay, I did that. I can do this. I'm a person who can do hard things, right? And so you start to build up these belief systems, and as we talked about, like news and information, you can program your perception of self by showing yourself, basically stepping up every single day, that I'm a person who can, for example, do hard things. I'm a person who goes to the gym, because guess what? I've gone to the gym 6 times a week for the past many years. I'm a person who can work out a whole lot. I have a big capacity for high stress situations, because guess what? I've been working out 11, 12 times a week. Plus I wake up at 4:30 a.m. every single day. I've been doing that for the past 8 months. So now I know I have that track record.
So what time do you go to bed?
I sleep at 8:30.
8:30, and you get up at 4:30.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, it's 8 hours.
And what do you do for 4:30 in the morning?
At work.
You start work.
Yeah. And then on double workout days, I'll go run at 7.
7.
And then
so what time do you go to the gym?
11.
11.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
This is actually a rest day today. I haven't worked out today. It's the first time in like a month, I think.
That's cool, man.
Feels weird.
That's awesome. It's amazing how you have taken yourself through these journeys to get to where you are now. It all matters. The monk mode, meditation, the fitness. And there's so much that you do. I was talking to my business coach the other day, and I said, yeah, man, I'm in Dubai. And he's like, wow, 2 years ago, you were in your mum's house, in your parents' house, in your bedroom, starting this coaching business, right? And I said, yeah, this is amazing. I said, look what we've achieved in 2 years. And I said, yeah, imagine what's going to happen in 2 years, another 2 years.
Yeah.
And he goes, imagine what's going to happen in 10 years.
I say that to myself all
and
the
I was
time.
like,
I say that as well. That's so fun.
No, I was like, what? I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, wow, that's just taken me to another level. And I didn't even think about it,
Yeah.
But it's kind of like overwhelming or scary, or just to think like, if you can do something like this in just a couple of years, imagine what your life is going to be like in 10 years. And
it's wild. No, but yeah, so I talked to my my little brother is he also does his own thing online, affiliate marketing, but we talk every single Friday. Like a lot of times we'll always end up with just thinking about shit, like imagine where we were 2 years ago and where we are now. And like, what will happen when we're 40, 50, 60? Shit, that's a long time. That's so exciting. I told you this as well. Like, I can't wait till I'm 40.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for it.
Yeah, but even I myself, like I think about, I'm 38. I'm going to be 40 soon, in a couple of years, or a year and a half. That's fucking ridiculous. But the truth is that what I'm going to achieve by that time, like I know why I'm here in Dubai. I'm here to focus. Don't get me distracted. Don't try and tell me to go to nightclubs and bars and shit like that. I'm not interested. I just want to hustle. I want to focus, right? So even to know I'm going to be 40 soon, so it's like it feels like a bit of a race now. I'm just like, shit, 40's coming. Yeah. Get your shit together, man.
But so that's your motivation, right? To achieve something in a shorter time.
Yeah, like when I get to 40, I want to, I want to be like living my best life.
Yeah.
At the moment, I definitely say I've still got work to do.
Yeah.
But I'm getting there, one step at a time.
But so for you, it will basically be, think about when you're 53. I have 15 years until I'm 40.
Yeah.
I'll still be young as fuck. I'll be working out 12 times a week.
Yeah, no, just keep doing it. But yeah, even by 50 for me, I'll be just like, wow, where my life will be. But again, the bigger why as well, like, what are you going to do with all your success? You're going to help family. You want to give back.
Yeah, I want to have a family.
No, but do you want to give back to your family? Do you want to help? Like, what do you want to do with, like? Is there other things part of, like, your human experience or the giving back to the world, or what is it like?
Yeah, I would love to at some point like have some sort of, I haven't figured out the model yet because there's still other business I need to do before I can get into that, but like some sort of philanthropy in the education space, and just trying to teach younger people this is how you should think about life. Like, here's an alternative route to what your parents are telling you to do with go to school, go to high school, go to college, get your MBA and whatever these people are getting nowadays. Because I hate traditional education. I think it's a waste of time and waste of money, honestly. Unless you want to be a doctor or something like that, you shouldn't be doing it. Like, why would you spend $120,000 on a business degree? It makes no sense, to me at least. So I wanna definitely at some point in my life dive down that route and just trying to see if I can teach younger people a different solution to what they're being presented by the Matrix or whatever you want to call it.
It's cool.
Yeah.
What do you want to study? Go to university? Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, man. Yeah, for me, it's my family. I'm the youngest in my family, so my sisters helped me a lot to get to where I'm at, and a lot of my why as well is not only for myself, obviously, but it's to be able to help my family and to give back to them.
I think the biggest for me in terms of family is just I want to show my dad that I was able to do it, because he came from a poor family, and he made something of himself.
So you want him to be proud as well?
Yeah, because like there's no point in me like giving money to my family, because like we're all pretty well off. Like we didn't grow up in poverty. Like we were good. But I want to show my dad that the hard work he did growing up, because he did like what he did, I think is enormous. Like, because he came out of the, like, from a bad situation to then creating his dream life, where, you know, I had them over for my birthday. It was in March, and so, you know, he flew him, his girlfriend, younger brother and younger sister, you know, to Dubai, rented an apartment, and we had a great few days. And so he's able to live his best life. And so I just want to show him that I can do that too. And I want to beat him as well. That's just because I'm very competitive. But yeah, I just want to show him. I think I've already done it in his eyes, but in my eyes, I haven't really done it yet. Yeah, so I just want to show him that, hey, that's awesome. I was able to do it as well. You can do much more than you think you're capable of. Yeah, I think that's a good saying. And that comes back to the whole thing we talked about with investing in yourself and actually taking yourself serious. Like, what information do you consume? Who do you hang out with? What area do you live in? Like, taking yourself serious, because you can do much more. Like, why is someone a billionaire and why are you barely like able to afford for, you know, nice things in life? Maybe you can't even afford to go on a vacation. What's the difference? A lot of times it just comes down to them taking themselves serious, and making themselves capable, investing in their own machine vessel.
Yeah, let's go back to the machine.
Yeah,
that's right. Powerful. So if people want to follow you, where can they find you? What social media platforms, websites, anything like that?
YouTube, Instagram, Rasmus Gutfelt. That's Rasmus RASMUS and Gutfelt GUTFELT. And website for the agency is minix.co. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. There you have it, guys. Rasmus sharing his power on another amazing episode on the Luke Mind Power podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that, Rasmus. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. It was amazing. Powerful shit. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you're ready to grow and reach your full potential and find inner peace, send me a DM that says, I want inner peace, and I'll send you the next steps. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. When you change your mind, you change your whole life. So don't hesitate and send that DM over to me. Myself and my team can't wait to meet you and witness your transformation in full glory.
See you next week.